Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Keith Andrew, and this is episode 228 of the Keith Andrew Network. And I'm here with a good friend, Michael Newman, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Well, thank you for having me. But I want to what took you so long? I'm 228. Why couldn't I be number one?
Good question. No excuses.
228. Wow, that's like getting the back of the bus.
Well, better than nothing, right?
That's right. At least I'm not 328.
Right.
All right. So, I tell you, I heard so much about your show. I went on YouTube and I looked up. You had so many people that you had, and it's really impressive that you come so far. You must be making a lot of money on advertising.
Well, if you would have liked to help me with that, I really appreciate it. I would love to work with you, in that area. But, I'm doing the best I can with the learning disability. I promote myself. I look for people myself.
Wow.
And it would be nice to have a team of people to work with and say, you're doing a good job. Sit back, let us take it over for you. But I'm constantly, a book and a pen, doing this, and it gets frustrating after a while. It's kind of like
with the book. Nobody uses those books anymore. You can get them for 38 cents now because everybody uses their tablets and laptops. Nobody writes down anything.
I do that too sometimes.
There you go. Okay, there you go. You probably know that better than I do. I'm a lot older than you. I don't know how to work those things. My son used to work for Apple, so he taught. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even have a Mac. I wouldn't know how to use the Skype or anything. I mean, I'll tell you, I was so old-fashioned with this stuff. So.
No, I love Apple. I grew up on Apple. Everything I had. And I'm going to pass it back to you. But I do a little speech before we get started. The whole point of my talk show, the Keith Andrew Network, is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. But you should never give up, and you should prove to people you can still mount yourself, and that labels do not dictate who you are and who you want to be. Half hour, 45 minutes, say anything you want, uncensored, freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression. And jumping right into the Apple is, I grew up with everything Apple. I was born in 1988, and the first computer I ever had, I don't know if you had it, was the Apple IIe.
I don't even know. I just have a Mac Air, whatever you call it.
Is it Mac Pro Air or just the Air?
I think it's just the Air.
I used to have one of those. So I'll give you a perfect example. See, what do I have on here I can show you? I use this book for an example. And this, it's half the size, so so it's like this. And those were the CDs for because they were the big floppy disks. So basically, with the Apple IIe, you put the disc in and you push it down, and it loads up. I can send you the video for it. It's really cool. And I used to have the Power Max, where you used to push the power button. But then the color iMacs came out, and the eMacs. But everything was Apple. I grew up. I love Apple.
Yeah, it is. My son swears by it. He loves it. You should have him on your show. He's a director and writer in New York, and he's doing very well. So, and he'd be a good topic for you. So
maybe you can work something out. I would love to work with him.
I'll tell him you'll be contacting him. You could send him a message. I'm sure he'll be glad to spend some time with you if he's not working. If he's not busy. So anyway, it was good to be on your show. It's good, it's good. I see, like I said, you have a good following. I wish you the best. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, this is your time after all, so whatever you want to talk about.
Any questions? Anything you want to know about?
I can ask you the easy ones and some hard-hitting ones. Then I'm going to pass the show over to you. And you can ask me anything you want. So growing up, what can you tell us about yourself? What can you tell us about yourself? And how did you become an actor?
Okay, well, I can tell you a little bit about myself, because if I tell you too much, we'll have to go into at least 4 hours of time. No, but I grew up in Brooklyn, and I know, you said learning disabilities. I know this when I was in public school back in maybe third, fourth, fifth grade, and I think that my mother put me in school too early, which not saying that I probably had a learning disability and I probably had never paid attention. So I think that in my head that I might have had ADD because I couldn't pay attention. I didn't want nothing to do with school. I hated it. But today they diagnose if a person doesn't sit still for some reason, then they ADD, whatever, attention deficit. So I think I had a little bit of a learning disability in school, and I wish I would have stayed in school because I think I would have made a good doctor because I'm always dissecting animals. No, I'm just kidding. But I like helping people, and I don't fear blood. So. But getting into the acting thing, it started for me back in the early 80s. I was doing some modeling at the time. I was modeling at photography schools, and for students, and I was making a few dollars doing that. So then a friend of mine said, "Why don't you do some acting, take a class maybe or whatever?" So I guess I did some extra work. And extra work was a big part of my life because I didn't really have time. First of all, let me tell you something. If you have children, whoever's watching your episodes, if you have kids, support them. Let them live their dreams. Because I had nobody when I was growing up, when I was a teenager. My family came from laborers. People who worked in offices, and my father was a truck driver. Nobody said, "Well, you can go ahead and be an actor." And I would watch actors on TV, and I just was the greatest thing in the world. So, my career was really, I am not anybody a household name in any way, but I enjoy what I do. I do it, I don't do it, I'd love to do it full time, but I just can't. I have a lot of bills to pay. Some people could just go and take a chance, but I was never in that position. And getting back to that, nobody told me, go ahead and you can be an actor, go out to California. And I never did that, So I was in New York and I worked a little bit here and there, but I had nobody supporting me saying, do it. So when in my time, it was like, get up, go to trade school, learn a trade, become an electrician, a plumber, whatever, and just get a career and go to work. Like your family, because everybody was working. So, but as I grew up and I had children, with my wife, I had to have a wife or whatever to have children, and any female would have did. But anyway, my son's seen my wife and I working in the business, doing some acting. My wife was a model. When I met her, she was modeling, and she got into acting eventually. So, and then when my son was in school, he started, I gave him a video camera when he was really young, and he was always running around with the video camera. When he was like 11, 12, he was always had that camera in his hand. And he stayed with it. And he started making films in school. And actually, he ended up teaching a class, the teacher let him teach a class. And then when he went and he started making films, and I'll give you this is a great story. When he was in high school, he went to school with a kid, Miles Teller. Now, you're going to know who this kid is. He starred in Whiplash, the Divergent series, Insurgent. He's in all the movies. He was in the Fantastic Four. He's in a lot of movies.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. The good one or the shitty one?
The shitty one. The Fantastic Four you're talking about?
You talking about 2005 or the one that came out?
The newest one that just came out.
Oh, yeah, the shitty one.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you something. Just because it was a bad movie, but Miles' acting in it was phenomenal. If you watch Miles, he's a great actor.
Right.
The kid, he's doing a movie now with Amy Schumer. He's playing, I think he plays a soldier that has PTSD, and he stars in the movie, as well as he's doing a movie now with Jeff Bridges and Josh Brolin about that firefighting out now in California. I don't know the whole story, but he plays one of the firefighters, and he stars in the movie. He's also got a movie out with Bryan Cranston. It's out now. It's called Get a Job. He plays, Bryan Cranston plays his dad. He's got a movie coming out, Bleed for This. He plays Vinnie Paz, the boxer. Stars in that. It's Martin Scorsese film. So what I'm saying is Miles is now a household name. This guy's, he should have won an Oscar for Whiplash. The kid was phenomenal. Well, my son made movies with him in high school when he was nothing. He was like, but my son Jesse knew during those days that he said Miles is going to be a star. He used to say that to me, and I said, "Well, we'll see." Everybody thinks they're going to be famous when they. Yeah. Miles made it right after he left high school. My son made, even when I think he was in college. He came home. My son made another movie with him, and then his first movie he starred with Nicole Kidman in Rabbit Hole. Amazing, right? And then he went right out to Hollywood. Oh, then he was in the remake of Footloose. He played Chris Penn's part, and he was phenomenal. He was a great actor. So I'm just saying that, for people, anybody can do anything. So my son my son is like proud that he put Miles in his first 2 films. So it's interesting about that kid. I just thought I'd mention that to you. And so, like me, so I'm just saying that Miles is like totally, like, he's out there. He'll be at the Oscars this year for sure, this year. And for me, I just, I do movies. I get local. I do independent films. I go for reading. I do commercials. So I'm happy with what I'm doing at my stage of my life. I'm not looking really to, I'm not going to say, I don't want to be, but, I'm not going to get the roles. I go after them. I read. And you should never stop living your dreams. And if you have children, like the whole base of the story is support them.
Right.
Support them. If they want to be an actor or they want to be a filmmaker, which is so hard these days, everybody with now you can take your iPhone and you can make an actual. There's people that have competitions. They make film. People make whole movies. They make movies on these things. So everybody's the director. Everybody's a filmmaker. But to make a good movie, you got to get the money. And with no money, you don't get a big star. And that's what you don't get. If you're going to star in your film, you're going to get distribution. There's no doubt. You'll get, whether it goes straight to DVD or what. But if you got a name, you're going to go somewhere with that. It'll go somewhere. Whether it goes to Redbox, Netflix, whatever, cable, you'll get somewhere. I just say support your children, whatever they're going to do. If they want to be a dog catcher, I would support them anyway. You know what I mean? I love animals. So, and that's another thing. Rescue animals. Don't buy dogs in pet stores. Rescue animals. Rescues are the best pets. They appreciate you like there's no tomorrow.
I am guilty. Well, not me personally, but my family's guilty of buying the breeders in the pet stores. I'm very sensitive when it comes to animals. I love animals to death.
Oh, good man.
But it's like going to doggy prison. It's like you see one, it's like, if I have a big house, I say, bring them all! Bring them!
Everybody says that if I win the lottery, I'm taking them all home. Which is great, and it's good. It's good to support the animals anyway. They need homes and shelters, which is good, So, but anyway, is there any other questions? Anything you want to talk about particularly? I know you have some questions there. You look like you're a little confused.
No, I do. I just have some ideas I want to talk to you after the year about, if you don't mind.
Okay.
But you also mentioned when we got started, you were friends with Jackie Gleason.
Jackie Mason.
No, Jackie Mason. Sorry.
I was actually. It was funny because I always liked Jackie Mason growing up, And you don't remember this, but there was a cartoon years ago called The Ant and the Aardvark, and it had the voices that sounded like Dean Martin and Jackie Mason. Hello, Ant, I'm going to get you. And everybody thought it was Jackie Mason as the Ant, but it was an imitator, guy. But anyway, that's back in the early '70s. It was what happened was Jackie Mason, his most recent television or movie stuff. I did a movie with him called One Angry Man. The movie was not great, but I think it went right to. It's on Netflix. I'm not sure, but it's in DVD, whatever. You can buy it on Amazon. One Angry Man. But Jackie's where he was in The Jerk with Steve Martin. He plays the gas station attendant. I don't know. You ever see The Jerk with Steve Martin? It's okay. Nobody's gonna assassinate you if you didn't. It's okay. It's a funny movie. Steve Martin is always great. Well, Jackie played in that movie. What was the first movie with Rodney Dangerfield at the country club with the gopher, and Bill Murray?
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack. Well, Jackie played in Caddyshack 2, which probably no even heard of it.
No, I did.
Okay, well, Jackie Mason's in there. Well, anyway, that's if you don't know Jackie Mason, I'm just trying to describe who he is. I met Jackie. My wife and I went to a comedy club once in Tampa, and Jackie was trying out new material for his new Broadway show. He has four Broadway shows, and he actually won a few Tonys for his Broadway shows. And I went to the show, and only 40 people showed up in Tampa, for the show. But it's so strange because I went to see him at this comedy club, and only 40 people show up. But when he goes to play at a giant hall in Tampa, hang on, let me get rid of that. Okay, that's it. And when he plays at a hall that holds 2,000 people, I'm getting slammed here. Okay.
Hey, it's live. Anything can happen live.
Yeah, okay, what's okay. I'll edit it out later. When he plays at a giant hall, he fills it up, 2,000 people. So I was really shocked when I went to this thing and only 40 people showed up. So my wife and I went to see him. And after the show, I went over and I said, hello, Jackie, how you doing? I'm a big fan of yours, blah, blah, blah. Here's my wife. And I said, she's not really Jewish, but she looks Jewish. She has a Jewish diamond on her finger. So he got a kick out of that, and he said, so what do you do for a living? And I own a private investigation agency. I have for 35 years. So I told him that I also, because that's my background music. Hang on. You know what? I should...
Don't worry about it. It makes it more entertaining.
Oh, yeah. People just want to know who you're talking to during an interview. I should have answered it. It made some interesting. So I told him I also do some bodyguard and escort work, So he says, I'm in the market for a bodyguard. So I said, okay, yeah, fine. He goes, tomorrow let's have coffee. So we got together for coffee the next day, and he liked me. He says, come to New York and meet my manager, blah, blah, blah. And so you know what? He says, I got the job. So my first year with Jackie, the first few months, we were out in Vegas, and if you've seen him lately, I don't like to, I'm saying he looks like a corpse anyway, walking around. If you've seen him, he's got the white face with the red lips. So we wrote a joke for my wife and I put something together about him being a vampire, because if you actually see the guy, it looks like he could be a vampire. So we wrote a joke about a Jewish vampire, and he did the routine. And I'm not going to do the whole routine here, but it looks like he goes. It starts off something like this. He goes, I know Dracula couldn't be Jewish because no Jewish vampire would bite you in the neck. Maybe I'll bite you over here, I'll bite you here. I wouldn't drink all your blood. I'll come back tomorrow. We'll drink some more blood. I will have your cholesterol checked. We'll go for a piece of cheesecake. I'll come back. Maybe we'll drink your husband's blood. Maybe not. But anyway, so he comes off stage and he says, that joke you wrote me was funny. I said, you see, Jackie, I'm just as funny as you. He goes, if you think you're so funny, go out and do 3 minutes. I go, really? He says, yeah, your 3 minutes is not going to kill my 40-year career. So I was so excited. I went upstairs to my room and I called my wife. And I said, you're not going to believe this, Kim. I said, Jackie said I can go out and do 3 minutes of comedy. The joke was great. So she says, well, what are you waiting for? You want to do this your whole life? I said, yeah, but I'm really an actor. She says, listen, I've seen your acting. What you are is a funny guy. So I put 3 minutes of material together. She said, just do stories about Brooklyn and your life. And so I did it. Ended up doing 3 minutes. I was horrified the first day because you do comedy in front of your friends. You tell jokes and you make them laugh. But let me tell you something. The first time you have to walk on stage, I'm standing there behind it, and this is at the Stardust in Vegas, which is now imploded. I don't know what happened to it now. The guy hands me the microphone and he says, okay, 1 minute. My mouth turned cotton. I couldn't speak. My legs locked up. So the stage, he goes, okay, go. He pulls the curtain, go. So I'm walking out there and I'm looking at the people and I was really scared to death. And then the people are looking and they're already laughing at me and I didn't do anything yet. So maybe I tore my pants or something, So I just started talking to the people. I said, how you doing out here? Anybody making money? The guy says, $50. I said, you should have stayed the fuck home. Say that? Can I say that?
Yeah, it's fine. It's uncensored. Freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression.
So I can say that. So I said, you should have stayed the fuck home. And then, so they started laughing. I said, okay, now I was already calm. I seen them laughing. I knew my jokes were going to go over well. So I did 3 minutes. Then I announced Jackie. So when I went off stage, Jackie came after the show and he goes, your 3 minutes was great. They loved you. It's like you were doing this for 600 years. He says, there's comedians that can't do this as good as you. He said, tomorrow do 5 minutes. I said, really? He goes, yeah, do 5 minutes. He goes, stay. As long as they're liking you, you could stay on. I said, okay. So anyway, from 3 minutes to 5 minutes to 10 minutes to about 20 minutes. After 3-4 years, I was doing 20 minutes in front of Jackie everywhere we went, all over the world. It was great. It was like fantastic. Not only that, the best part about working with him was private jets all over the country, limousines. I was meeting great people. I was very friendly with Tony Curtis. I get to meet really good people, you know, and I had a great time. Howie Mandel. I was hanging around with Howie and his manager, Richie Thurber. I mean, I met a lot of great people. It was a good experience, you know. A lot of people don't get to do that in their life, you know. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of connections I made out in LA because of that and traveling around. It was pretty good. Yeah. Now I'm looking for another comedian to run around with.
Well, if you're interested, once I get my own studio and talk show, professionally get my own talk show, maybe you would like to be my co-host.
Oh, you're in Brooklyn? Oh, you're upstate New York there, yeah.
But
yeah,
maybe, hey, you help me, I help you, and see how things go. I'm basically looking for people to help me out, so you help me, I help you. I'm a good person.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we'll have to figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'll get you some people to come on your show for now, get you some, maybe build you up there, you know?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I do have a couple of questions after the show, but if you want, we can talk about it now. It's completely whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do. What do you want to talk about?
Do you know any producers that might, or people that you know, that would take an interest in what I'm doing? Because it's a good deed. I'm showing people supporting disabilities. You can not label yourself and still amount to something. Do you think they will take an interest in me and help me grow? Do you think that will be a possibility?
You're doing this a long time. You got a lot of shows out. You know, a lot of the producers that I know are always they're all into film. A lot of, I went out to see somebody out in LA about a show that I wanted to do. My wife and we have a registered show with the Writers Guild. It's really funny, and I don't want to get into it, but I went out there and I pitched it, and they were only into reality shows at the time. So it's very hard now. There's so much out there, you know. But if I think of somebody, I'll put you guys together. You know, I'll work on that for you. Okay? But it's very hard because people are trying to get the producer always looking for money to make films, to get people like we talked about before. They're looking to get a name in their film. You know, they try to get people. I mean, I have friends in New York that are in Manhattan that are putting films together, and they get a lot of stars in their movies, and I'm wondering why they're getting coverage they're getting screens in theaters, but they're getting limited releases, and really not going big places. You know but they're getting big stars in the film, like Danny Glover, and they're still not getting huge theatrical release. You know, I don't know why that is. That's not really my end of the. I don't really know that end that well. You know, distribution too much.
Yes.
Just know from what I hear from people. You know, so.
Well, I actually got an. Well, I'm gonna shoot off a couple names to you, and you tell me if you know them or ever heard of them.
Is this a guessing game?
Huh?
Is this a guessing game?
You played if you want.
Okay.
First one is Kerrigan Mayhem.
No. Kerrigan what?
Kerrigan Mayhem?
No.
Did you ever watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
No, I really don't. A long time ago.
He did Goldar.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I interviewed Richard Epcar.
No. What did he do?
Oh, he's the new Joker in the, he did, I mean, Sean probably knows this, if he played Marvel, actually not Marvel, DC versus Mortal Kombat.
He might, I'll tell you, he might know, because I'm not into, any of those characters, you know, I don't watch those superheroes thing. I don't watch Batman. The only Batman and Superman I like was from 1960s and 70s. You know, the original Bruce Wayne, what's his name, the guy who played Batman?
Oh, Adam West.
Adam West, yeah, and George Reeves from Superman. The rest to me are all phony baloney.
Well, you would like this. Adam West and Burt Ward were talking about having a reunion and relaunching the Batman series.
Wow.
I don't know if they were serious or sort of on Facebook. You know, it's a rumor.
Wow, how old is Adam West now? He's going to be like 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if you can pull it off, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, makeup and the new cameras. They can transpose his head on somebody's body, Ben Affleck's body or something.
That's true. I always thought Christian Bale was the best one.
That's what I hear. I don't know. I never watched it, but I heard that from other people. I like him anyway.
Do you like Tom Wellens?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, the guy from Smallville.
That's also Superman, isn't that Superman?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't watch that. I don't
It's
know.
really good.
Is he the actor that played the Superman? Is he the guy who played?
Oh no, they screwed him over. He didn't want it, so they casted Brandon Roth or whatever, and he was terrible. And I don't know, the best Supermans, if you think about it, the best Batmans is Christian Bale, number one. Best Supermans, it's a tie between Christopher Reeves and Tom Wellens. Those are the best Supermen. Are you a professional wrestling fan?
Not at all. Back in the 70s I was with Bruno Sammartino.
I got the chance to, let's see, what legend you probably know. I interviewed
Andre the Giant, I knew, Blackjack Mulligan, George the Animal Steel.
Well, we had a falling out. He didn't want to do my show. First he said, you're doing a wonderful thing. I would love to be on it. So we were playing phone tag. And then when I mentioned it, because I changed the name of my show, originally my show was called Uncensored. And now it's called KeithAndrewNetWork. But when I said, okay, well, we talked a year ago, to let you know the show's called Uncensored, I'm going to cut you off right there. I want nothing to do with it, and I want nothing to do with you.
Wow.
And I was like, what the did to happen? Yeah. You said a year ago you're doing a great thing. You like to work with me. Yeah, well, if I'm on your show and it's great, and then you have some other person come on and use the F word, then it kind of makes your show degrading. That's every interview. It's different.
Yeah,
and right. He said, I'm going to say this once and only once to you, and if you ask me again, I'm going to tell you off. And he's like, I want nothing to do with you. I was like, no, that's fine. You watch yourself a fan anyway. Huh. I was going to ask, do you know Chuck Coates? I interviewed Chuck Coates. I interviewed Vince Russo. I interviewed Chris Harris. Thinking of what other 80s people I got. I'm still working on it. But if you go to my website, I got recommendations from Marlena Perez, Velvet Sky.
Very good. That's great. That's good. Very good. Yeah, you should try to get. Do you like advertise anywhere? Where you should hit me more people up on Facebook. And
well, I do have a fan page. So I did send you an invite.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, well, that's how we met, right? Didn't we met? How we do that? Yeah.
I think on Stage 32 or LinkedIn. It was one of them. But I use everything. Stage 32, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, before they locked my account. So I was adding people, then going down the list, like, would you like to be on my show? Would you like to be on my show? And they said no, I would remove them. So basically now they're asking for my driver's license and government ID. It's like, I'm not giving you guys that. Because I don't know if that's really LinkedIn accent.
Right. No, only that would give your identification like that. You might just give it to me after the show with a credit card number. But anyway, I wanted to show you this movie came out. I did this about a year ago or so. Can you see it there pretty good?
Yep, it's perfect.
It's available right now at Walmart. It's $10. Just I'm not trying to push anything, but there's what's his name? Lee Majors. You see?
Yep. And
Jeff Fahey as well, and Marty Cove from Karate Kid, and I'm in it as well. I have a couple of nice parts in there. We filmed this at a great place in Sarasota. Some of it was filmed in California, but we filmed it at a place called Dry Creek, which I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a western town, and it's also available. They rent it out for movie sets. It's near Sarasota. It's in Parrish, Florida, and my good friend Les McDowell, he runs it. He built it up to a town. They got if you watch the movie, you'll see all the set that's in there. Beautiful, beautiful set. You should put that out there. If you know anybody you're interviewing that's doing a film wants to do a great western, great place to go. Dry Creek.
Actually, you just gave me a great idea. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna save it off the air so no one takes it from me.
Don't say anything. Yeah, but you got to go out and get that film. It's good. You'll see me in there.
Well, while you're promoting yourself, I'm gonna promote myself for a limited time only until the middle of July. You can pre-order, and I hope you do. You can pre-order my official Keith Andrew Network T-shirt. It's pretty much like the Iron Maiden thing I have, how it's stretched in the middle. But it says Keith Andrew Network. I wish I had it to promote it, but they're being skinzy. They said, well, once you make the sales, then we can promote it, and then we can sell it. Alright, fine. So basically, I'm taking pre-orders. You can go to booster.com. The link will be in the description. It's $30 because they're using high quality ink. So it's, they're saying they're using high quality. So they're just basically wanting more money out of it. So like, whatever, just make me the damn shirt.
I have to learn how to do that too, because my wife says I do this at the wrong time. Furthermore, like when I do air quotes, I get a little confused with it. Right. I go, well, it isn't. And she goes, no, then you do it at the isn't. And I'm just like, so I do one at a time here and one at the end. Well, it isn't. So I make sure I'm going to get that and going to catch on. That's like hashtags. I have no clue. People, I see everybody's like, even on Facebook, they use hashtags in a little description.
Yes.
I don't know. To me, that's what room number, a hashtag. I didn't even know if it was a hashtag. It was a number sign.
Pound sign.
Pound sign, your number sign. Now they added another meaning. It's hashtags. Was it always a hashtag?
It was. I always thought it was a pound sign.
Well, because with the phones, but before there was push button phones, we had rotary. We didn't have that.
No.
So it was a number sign. Back in the 60s and 70s, nobody said pound sign or hashtag. You would have told somebody back then, they would think you're talking about some kind of drug, hashtag. Hashish, hashtag. You'd end up in prison.
Well, it's kind of funny you should mention the 60s and 70s. Did you ever see Life on Mars?
Life on Mars?
Yes.
No, was that a show from then?
It takes place back then. Basically, a guy gets in... Basically, the guy's in a coma and he wakes up and he dreams the whole thing. But while he's in his coma, he goes back to the 1960s. He's a police officer. And there's a part where they're at the crime scene. It's like, let's do DNA. And this is like the 60s. And everyone stopped to look at him. It's like, DNA what?
That's funny. That's funny. That's right.
So he used to call him Spaceman. Whatever you say, Spaceman.
Uh-huh. Is that a well-known show?
Let's see, it's 2016. It was about 6 years ago it came out.
Okay, I'll have to look for it, Okay.
It's really good. So is Grimm, by the way. Grimm and Being Human.
So like Amazon has their own shows, or Yahoo, we're all making their own TV show. I mean, there's a lot of network. That's another thing. An outlet for you would be to Google who's in charge of those networks and send them, if you have a lot of these places, they're looking for people who have big followings. If you have big followings, they want that. A lot of the big agencies, I know, like William Morris Agency in New York, they have people who just scan the internet for for new shows. So, that's why a lot of people, instead of trying to get distribution, some people just make web-based series because some shows get picked up from that. So for filmmakers out there who might be watching this, just make if you're doing a series or comedy series or whatever, sitcom, if you make it web-based, it has a good chance, if you get a lot of people, a lot of hits, you have a good chance of getting that show picked up from somewhere, whether it is Netflix, Yahoo, Google, whatever,
No, I try to reach now to Hulu and Netflix.
Right, Hulu, right.
And they said you have to know someone to get in. Well, with my talk show, this is the whole month of June, and I forgot to do this in my last interview. is my 3rd anniversary. 3 years ago today, I started my talk show, and it's been around 3 years. I started from recording from the phone, so you see the image on the phone. Whatever the phone saw, the viewers saw, and then I would record my hands the camera. Just for an example, my hands the camera. I would record what the computer screen has, and now I have Skype recorder, so it's got to be cut in half. So if people seen Fox News and CNN, I'm gonna be on the right, and then you're on the left. Unless you're interviewing me, maybe you would be interested in that. I would flip it. You're on the right, and I'm on the left. So people say, why haven't you done this from the start? Well, if I'd done Skype recorder from the start, you really wouldn't have seen any growth. Maybe it would have taken off faster, but you wouldn't have seen me change over the 3 years. So you saw, 2013, the phone. A little bit of 14, it was the phone to the computer screen. And 14, 15, and now 16, it's Skype recorder. So there's a growth and a transition. Season 1 was pretty much my green book. I would ask you about, where do you stand on gay rights? Where do you stand on gun control? Where do you stand on legalizing marijuana? And I was like, well, that's fine for season 1, all 100 episodes. I don't want to sound repetitive. So season 2, I would say, okay, let's do something different. We can still do the green book, but I would say, tell us more about yourself. For the girls I flirt with, I say, did you ever do a human pyramid? Just to make things up and make it more fun. And I was like, well, season 3, I don't want to sound repetitive again.
What's a human pyramid?
Oh, basically you climb on top of each other and you do a pyramid.
Oh.
When people do it in cheerleading, a lot of people do it in gymnastics.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's like a human centipede.
Kind of. Just throwing it out there. I usually don't talk to guys about pyramids because they usually come off gay. But I throw myself out there. I love human pyramids. I always wanted to do one since I was 4. Only with girls I would do one. But, I never got a chance to do one. But I love that stuff. It's a human exercise. It's human art. And, hey, you're doing it as a bunch of women, so it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there, but...
You should take a trip to Egypt.
Working on it. I'm just scared shitless of airplanes.
Really?
9/11 had a big influence on that.
I'm a pilot, so I fly single-engine planes.
Oh, I didn't know that. What can you tell us about that? How many years have you been doing that? And
I started flying in the mid-70s, and I didn't get my and I stopped for a while, then I didn't get my license till early 2000s, 2000 something. But I was always flying. I had friends with airplanes, and then I finally said I want to get my own license, and I got my pilot's license. It's not easy, but it's only 1% of the population are pilots.
Now, do you know the safety? What would be the safety procedure? Say one of your engines catches on fire. Do you have something you push a button and it makes it the fire goes out?
No, I fly a single engine, so one of the engine goes out. That is the that's the engine.
I was thinking of the double.
I'm single. You just look for a place to land real quick. Pretty much if you're about 2,500, 3,000 feet up, you can glide for a good 15 miles. In that time, you should have already found a place to land. Well, that's why Florida is great for that, because we have a lot of highways and golf courses,
right,
and a lot of open areas.
And
so you see a lot. What's that?
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's why whenever I fly, I'm always looking around. I'm always thinking about it. I'm always looking for a place. Okay, if something happens, I can go back that way. I can go there. I'm always looking for a place. That's in my mind. Besides, you have to be scanning constantly when you're flying because you're responsible. So you're looking for other traffic. And I'm always, to me, safety is the most important thing. I don't allow talking when I'm flying, very little, because I like to keep a sterile cockpit. I just don't want to end up a statistic.
No, absolutely, and seaplanes too. Those are, I guess. What's your opinion? Do you think they're a little bit safer than the normal propeller planes?
Depending where you land. I mean, you land on a lake or a quiet body of water, it's fine. You could land. You have to take to do pontoon landing. It's another rating. You have to get rated. You have to take the you have to be tested in it. But if you cannot it's very difficult to land in the ocean when there's waves.
Yeah.
You hit a high wave that could knock you got to keep that nose up. When you're landing on a lake, a smooth lake, it's like glass. You can have a great experience. Really, it's great. So I don't know. I think they're safe. I think all flying is safe. You have to just fly a plane that's not going to break. There's that, or you have a pilot. A lot of times it's pilot error.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Look at all the. They just found the black boxes for that plane that went down in March. I think it was March. March or May.
March is one of them.
Yeah, something with an N. So good luck with that. About anything else? I want to just get back to Dry Creek for a minute. The place.
Sure.
We filmed a show out there. It's called Dry Creek. It was on, if you get Blue Highways television, the reruns are on there, and now they're looking for a home, which hopefully they'll find soon. We can start resume shooting again the series of Dry Creek. It's almost like a Little House on the Prairie type show, and it's going to be a little bit more action in it. So we're just looking. I know that they're negotiating and they're looking for a home right now. So might be picked up by another network. So something to keep your ears and eyes out looking for. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Now wrapping up the talk show, I'm gonna ask you one last hard-hitting question.
Okay.
And we can wrap up and then we can talk off the air. Okay. When I first approached you, what was your honest opinion on me? And after doing the interview, how do you feel now?
Well, first I thought I saw you on America's Most Wanted. And I said, yes, there's a $5,000 reward for you. I said, no, I thought you were, I thought when you first came to me and you said, you told me what it was about, and I said, wow, I said, that's really good. I said, I'd be glad to come on and promote you a little bit, and promote myself while I'm at it. There's nothing wrong with that. Although I didn't really promote myself that much, and I give my statistics, my home phone number, my social security number. But no, I think, and I think that you're going to go places with it. Where we don't know, but look how many interviews you did already. 200 and something. What am I? 281.
Oh, you're 228.
Oh, 228. I feel a little better than 280. But I mean, look at this. And you know what? And it takes a lot of hard work. You might have to go to 321 or 328. It's just hard work. And you're a young guy. You got plenty of time to keep grinding. The thing is, don't quit, and don't take no for an answer. Don't take no for an answer. So many people will tell you that. Look at the stories about a lot of stars that have made it. They were turned down and rejected, and they kept pushing on, and they became who they want to be. And you can do the same thing. You'll end up with a beautiful studio instead of sitting there with that bucket in the back there. I mean, I'm just telling you. You keep tugging away. You deserve it, and you're doing a good thing. Like, look at your show. You're talking about, you're helping other people with learning disabilities who maybe have it doesn't have to be learning disabilities. Look at all the people who have physical disabilities, and they're making it, and they're trying. So it's a great thing that you're doing.
No, absolutely. Now, wrapping up the talk show, I just want to say it's a real honor privilege to interview you, and I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you as well.
Okay, nice to talk to you. Great being on your show. Hope we do this again. Tomorrow's a good time. I'll be around tomorrow morning.